What's up everybody, my name is Aaron. First and foremost, I want to thank you for stopping by today's video. So I've been getting a lot of questions when it comes to a lot of this creative stuff lately, like what I use and what I think about certain things and my kind of experience in some of this stuff. And I've been meaning to do these videos, but I don't want them replacing my current daily videos. So I guess for now, you're just gonna have to see my face a little bit more often on this channel, and I'm gonna have to just work a little bit harder to get more of this content out there. So what we're talking about today is the Sony a6500, a6300. I had that camera for a while. I have the a6500 and the a7s Mark II that you guys are currently watching me on now. And I wanted to share my experience with these cameras, the pros and cons, both in video and photo. If you actually check back on one of my most viewed videos on the channel, you'll see that there's a title that says, "Return my a7s Mark II for the a6500." And that's still true to this day. I actually returned that a7s Mark II for this a6500 that I have here. Now you're probably wondering why now I have the a7s Mark II again. Like, what are you doing, dude? Why would you just devalue something and just return it? Take it easy, guys. The Sony a7s Mark II that I did try out was a used one. I wanted to make sure that if I was getting one before, that I wasn't taking advantage of, you know, Sony by any means, because they are a great camera company. Months later, after learning a lot more about video and around Black Friday, I actually found a great deal on a a7s Mark II open box, and I just couldn't pass it up. It was seriously a ridiculously good deal, and that was the issue, and that's what I want to touch base with right away, diving into this video. If you are looking to kind of start off, or you have recently started off and you're looking for that first big upgrade, I 100% back my original statement. I'm going to mostly back my original statement that the a6500 is seriously, hands down, one of the best cameras that you need to be getting. The reason why I personally bought the a7s Mark II is due to the low light capabilities with weddings and whatnot. With that being said though, in all reality, by the kind of average viewer, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know the difference between this and this. So when it comes down to you making that first experience as moving up as a videographer, I would say a6500, because the capabilities that you're able to do with it is seriously, it's insane for the price range. That's the biggest thing that I have to say. When you're paying, what, $1,200, $1,300 for this new, and you have to pay $2,400 for this new, there's just no real valid reason why to spend double if you're not making enough in return to justify that action. If you're just going out there to create and you want high quality, the a6500 is gonna do it just for you. I would even argue that if you are even making a good amount of income with weddings or whatever you're trying to record, whether it be music videos or advertisements, I would definitely say that the a6500, a6300 still can arguably hold up with a lot of people's competition. It's really gonna come down to the creator, guys. No matter what camera you get, you guys have to learn your craft and you have to learn about delivering the message, because that's a real key factor into it alongside the quality. Let me dive real quick into the pros of the a6500, why I really do like it. Aside from it being affordable, the size of this thing, the weight of it is absolutely amazing. It can balance with so many gimbals. It's just so small. You can compact it in a lot of locations, and that also adds up with the lenses. The crop sensor lenses for this, usually one, are more affordable and much lighter than the lenses that go and stack up with the a7s Mark II. You can get non-Sony lenses, obviously, for either one, but in my experience, Sony lenses regardless are expensive, and I can definitely tell the difference between Sony and not Sony. But what I've definitely noticed between the a6500, a6300, and the Sony a7s Mark II is the lenses that stack with either one are drastically different in price range. Like, one of the great lens suggestions for this thing is the Sigma 30mm 1.4. I use that for a lot of video stuff. Stacked it with the a6500, a6300, and it's an insane lens. Odds are, if you're watching this video, you already know that. To be able to achieve that kind of stack on an a7s Mark II, you're looking at spending at least double the cost of that lens by getting like a 35mm, 50mm Sony Zeiss lens. Now, there are other options. I'm not saying that those are the only lenses. I'm just saying kind of the equivalent in my opinion. The other pro that I find for the a6500 is right now it is still a fairly new camera. That's kind of like the gamble with getting an a7s Mark II right now is, imagine spending $2,400 on this camera right here and in 3 months a new camera coming out. I think time frame is a big advocate into making your decision on what kind of camera you're gonna get. So while the Sony a7 series is kind of still up in the air on if something's coming out, because the Sony a7R Mark III just came out, odds are they're not coming out with a Sony a6700 anytime soon, because this bad boy has been out for I think just over a year now, if not just around a year, something like that. I also forgot to mention too that the autofocus on this is an absolute tank compared to the a7S Mark II, and the touchscreen on this is it's neat. It is an advantage over the a7S, but it doesn't do really that much. The menu on the a6500 is definitely better than the a6300 and a7S Mark II. Hopefully that will change. But I did want to kind of point out just a couple things that are beneficial about the a7S Mark II. In my opinion, having the big body is just, it's a lot easier to grip, just feels more comfortable in your hands and whatnot. That's kind of where the compact size of this is a downgrade, you know what I mean? It's just some situations you just like that firm grip, as to where you really don't get it with the a6500 like you do with the a7S Mark II. I've already mentioned the dynamic range and the low light capabilities. Both cameras have amazing picture profiles. The a6500 does seem to keep a longer battery life than the a7S Mark II, which is definitely something that Sony is notorious for. And hopefully, just like the Sony a7R Mark III, they start making a lot of differences when it comes to the battery life on any future Sony camera. I wanted to talk photography really quick. Now, there's a big argument nowadays about full frame versus crop sensor. If you guys don't know, this is crop sensor and this is full frame. I toss that opinion so far out the window in my use, in my humble opinion. Now, I want to mention that I'm no expert in any of this. This is just based off of what I've experienced and what I've learned so far. I feel like the whole concept of full frame, although it has its benefits, is definitely just a boost of ego of somebody being able to say, I have full frame versus your little crop sensor. There are a lot of successful people that I know that use crop sensor and are just so comfortable with those types of cameras. Photography, I'm honestly a much bigger fan of the a6500 versus the Sony a7S Mark II. Now, if we're talking the Sony a7R Mark II, well, that's a whole different story in itself. But when we're talking 6500, 6300 against the Sony a7S Mark II, it's not like it's a crazy difference, but I just love the quality that the a6300, a6500 is able to capture over the Sony a7S Mark II. Now, again though, like I said, this is just gonna come down to your experience and how you handle the camera. There are a lot of amazing photographers that can handle the a7S Mark II like a beast, touching base with everything. If you're just kind of getting out there as a photographer, I think that these cameras are great cameras, but they definitely probably shouldn't be like the main cameras on your list to start investing into. That's just my opinion. If you are into video and you have at least started producing videos and you want to kind of up your quality, the a6300, the a6500, and the a7S Mark II are definitely going to be amazing cameras to help produce much better content. But here's the deal. If you are starting off, start off small so you can learn it. The a6300 is seriously to this day fine. The only reason, like I said, I upgraded to any of this is due to the fact that I was not expecting to get so many weddings back to back to back, and the littlest things make the biggest details. Just like I said, investing another $1,200 into a camera to get the low light features, it is a big difference when you're doing multiple weddings at different lighting changes and whatnot. But I want to mention too, it's not deal breaking. The biggest thing a lot of people have to understand is that most clients, most people out there in the world that are watching and looking at what you create, they don't see a lot of the differences that you see. See, we as creatives actually beat ourselves up a lot more than what the people that just enjoy watching the content do. It's a sad thing too to say that a lot of the negativity that you're gonna get is from other creatives out there. So I just invite you to block those type of people out. There are so many people that told me I was an idiot for getting this camera and that camera, yet they're not producing content, and I am. Whatever camera you get, it's gonna come down to your work, your effort, and your creativeness. So if you're starting off, start off with the a63, a6500. If you're starting to actually make some kind of income off something and you feel that it's seriously worth the investment for the a7S Mark II, get it, because it is a tank. It is a tank. These are my opinions, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for future content. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you tomorrow.